Zone 2 training is constantly raved on about, but it's hard to see any results come from it. For all the energy spent on it, it doesn't give much of a buzz, no PBs in training, gives very few kudos, and it feels like it's not really going to give you an edge in racing. But all the pros do it. Elite cyclists love a 6-hour Zone 2 ride. Elite runners regularly jog along at 6-minute mile pace. But for us normal people, it takes a lot of time to do. It can feel too easy. You can't go slow enough. You can do it and feel like you're never getting any faster. But it must be doing something good. It must. Why would they all do it? How long does it really take to see improvement? Feel improvement? I'll be honest, it takes a while for every adaptation to add up to a tangible result. It's like when your child grows. You don't see that growth day to day, but over the space of months and years, you can look back and you'll see a huge difference. I'm Chris from Efficient Endurance, a professional coach, and I'm going to break down the adaptations in your body over time and how much of a difference they make to your performance. So, the first thing that happens with Zone 2 is a massive hit to your ego. To stay in the zone, you'll probably have to move at a pace that feels ridiculously slow. Maybe even walking when you'd normally want to be running. But there's a very specific sequence of biological changes that happen when you commit to this really slow, easy effort. And the scale of these benefits is actually much bigger than most people realise. Just aren't patient enough with it. During the first 2 weeks, the changes are rapid. Within just 48 hours of your first few sessions, your body begins expanding your blood plasma volume, usually by around 10 to 12%. Now, I know this isn't new muscle or extra speed yet. It's simply your body increasing the amount of fluid it has to move oxygen around. Because there's more blood circulating, your heart doesn't have to beat as often. You should be able to see your resting heart rate drop by 3, even 5 beats per minute almost immediately. It feels like a massive fitness boost, but it's actually just you becoming more watery. It's kind of a weird way of putting it. Once you get past that first fortnight, your body moves to the next phase, building a better delivery network. Because between weeks 2 and weeks 8, your body grows a vast web of new vessels, capillaries, around your muscle fibers. Consistent aerobic work can increase this capillary density by as much as 20 or even 30%. This allows more oxygen to reach the muscles and gives your cells more time to process it too. You'll notice this when your heart rate stops drifting up an hour into sessions. If you used to see your heart rate climb by 10 beats over a long, easy session, that drift will likely disappear or practically drop to 0. The most significant shift for your daily performance happens between months 2 and 4. This is the point where your body stops being so dependent on sugar and it starts prioritizing fat as your primary fuel. When you first start Zone 2 training, you might only burn about 0.4 of a gram of fat per minute, but after 4 months of disciplined Zone 2 work, that can more than double to 1 gram or even more every minute. This is the difference between needing a gel every 20 minutes and being able to head out for a 2-hour session on nothing but water whilst feeling perfectly stable. Now, obviously, you're still burning through carbs, so don't neglect. Personally, this is the point that I feel first when it comes to Zone 2. Not needing to stuff myself with carbs after an easy session just to feel barely normal the next day. The deepest changes take the longest to arrive. Between 6 and 12 months of staying disciplined, the actual shape of your heart changes. The main chamber of your heart, your left ventricle, becomes larger and more elastic, allowing it to move 10 to 15% more blood with every single beat. But this is a slow transformation that you can't rush. By the end of a year of consistency, your easy pace might be a full minute per mile faster than when you started. But your heart rate and effort will be exactly the same. At this point, you are a physically different person to the one you were on day 1. You're a new person. If you can stick with this for over a year, you can reach a state where your aerobic system is almost unbreakable. Long-term Zone 2ers see their mitochondrial volume increase by 40 to 60%. This doesn't just make you faster, it also makes you more durable. A small hill or a gusty section of road won't spike your heart rate and ruin your session anymore, because your body has the capacity to handle those surges without shifting into a more stressed state. Now, I understand why most people abandon Zone 2 after 3 weeks. Feels like you're spending a vast amount of time to accomplish very little, but the maths of your physiology does not lie. You can't smash your way to a 30% increase in capillary density or a 60% increase in mitochondrial volume just by working harder. You have to work in a way that gives your body the chance to get better. The real challenge isn't the physical effort, it's the discipline to stay slow when every fibre of your body wants you to speed up. This is exactly why I founded Efficient Endurance. I provide the structure and discipline for adults who are preparing for events but don't have any time to waste. I ensure training is informed, so you have the confidence to stay disciplined during these really boring months of Zone 2. You can check out what I do at my website in the link in the description of this video. Now, be efficient and be disciplined about your Zone 2.